I'm quite drawn to this Flemish screen because of all the detail in it. One of the things I find most interesting about it is the similarities to chased silver when it's gilt, and this piece has a lot of relief in it. I love the grain in the rosewood table because it's very similar to the Japanese patterns of water, and just the detail in the wood grain is also similar to the way I chase silver in my work. I'm really inspired by the flowing lines in the clouds on these Ming vases. They're really simple lines and they remind me of water.
The National Trust was approached by the worshipful company of Goldsmiths with the concept for a project called Studio Silver Today, whereby a contemporary silversmith would come and work at a National Trust property and create an item inspired by that property. The Ickworth Silver collection is one of the two most important collections of silver within the National Trust, and its significance lies not only in the makers who are represented here, but also in the sheer quantity of silver that still survives within the collection.
Sometimes people can think of a silversmith as having a white beard and living in a small sort of cave where they produce these things, but really it's become something that's very integrated into modern life. The thing I love about working with silver is that it's like a living, breathing material to me. It changes when it's exposed to air, and it has certain subtleties about it that working with paints and paper doesn't, for example. So it's not just a texture or pattern that I'm putting on silver, it's more a feeling or a subtlety of emotion. So my main inspiration comes from waves and rivulets in water, which for me is a metaphor for the current of love which flows through all human beings. So I study rivulets and the surf in the sea. I take photographs, draw them, and then translate those drawings into the designs for chasing and engraving. I love how the waves sort of roll and the tide just comes in and goes out, and that kind of rolling motion of the sea, that really plays an important part in the design of my work. Nature inspires me, particularly water, ferns and fractals in leaves. I find it quite striking that wood grain is similar to the patterns in water in the kind of flowing lines. They kind of recur in nature, all these patterns, as well as in the marble tables. A lot of the patterns in the chasing I do are based on wood and water patterns. In a fern, each different leaf is actually the same shape as the whole fern leaf. So this is a kind of a fractal pattern.
For me, it's been fascinating meeting Miriam and walking around Ickworth with her, because what she's inspired by at Ickworth is perhaps different from what you might think she'd be inspired by. Ickworth is a classical building full of amazing works of art and items of furniture, but Miriam's seen beyond that and has found all kinds of patterns and textures here that really inspire her. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how she's going to bring that out in her work. I know it's going to be a tumbler. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but obviously it will be inspired by the things she's seen at Ickworth. I've seen other examples of Miriam's work and it is really beautiful, and the level of detail that she goes into is astonishing. So I know that whoever wins this tumbler is going to be extremely pleased with it.
I'm really honoured to have been chosen for this role as an ambassador of the Studio Silver Today scheme, because it will really allow me to share my skills with people who are genuinely interested in the craft of silversmithing.
There's this great delight of being able to enjoy the surprise of seeing a young, confident artist at work in a workshop situation and learning about this marvellous skill and artistry that is at the heart of the British tradition of silversmithing today.